This man is an instrument. Welcome, everybody. You're back with the NextManUp Sportscast crew, and we are fresh off of that NextManUp Invitational Call of Duty Warzone tournament.
Full of controversy, though.
A little bit of controversy in the first round. Actually, controversy in the third round, too, but controversy in the first round. We got our players, our guys from Cathedral, accused of cheating. People claiming that they knew exactly where they were, and they fired back in my chat just saying we had UAVs, and that's really all it was. I watched them the whole game. They really just popped off. They had a good first game. The Invid Gaming group came back with 2 back-to-back wins. They did get really lucky on one jailbreak in the final small circle for them to get the win. So it was a fun invitational. We're hoping to do more of those. Definitely gonna happen. We got a lot of good participation, so we're gonna keep that up. But Mandy, let's divulge into our first topic here. All right, I got some baseball for you here. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you some stat lines. You tell me which of these guys. I'm not gonna tell you the name yet. You tell me which of these stat lines you think is most likely to win the MVP. Okay. This is American League. American League. All right. Number 1 is the average is 333. 18 RBIs, and 8 home runs. Number 2, averages 337, 45 RBIs, and 17 home runs. Next, the average is 263, 40 RBIs, and 15 home runs. And last but not least, average of 262, 46 RBIs, and 11 home runs. Which of those stat lines do you like the most to win the MVP?
Well, number two stat line is amazing.
Do you know who number 2 is?
But which one of those stat lines is Shohei Ohtani?
So Shohei is the third stat line.
He's the MVP. Who's number
Do you
2?
want me to tell you who number 2 is? Number
Yes.
2 is actually a guy, before the season started, I said this guy's better. I said this guy's got a chance to win the MVP at plus 5,000. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Batting 337, 45 RBIs, and 17 league-leading home runs for the Blue Jays. Amazing.
I would say that's number 1, but my guy, Shohei Ohtani, is just going berserk out there, pitching, hitting, the beast.
Yeah, he's definitely hitting for a lot of power, pitching, mildly successfully. So any mild type of success when you're pitching and hitting is good. So the first stat line, though, is Mike Trout. So 333, 18 RBIs, 8 home runs. I think he's been hurt. I don't know why he would have such little RBIs. Again, like I said, Vladdy's number 2. Number 3 was Shohei. And number 4 was last year's winner, Jose Abreu. So he does have the lead there in RBIs, but a little slacking in the average department, home run department. But we still got a lot of season to go, so we will see. Next 4 stat lines are going to be in the National League, Mandy. You got the first stat line is 294. 35 RBIs and 17 home runs. Number 2 is 230 batting average, 29 RBIs and 12 home runs. Number 3 here we got 293 with 37 ribbies and 16 home runs. And number 4 is a 274 batting average with 35 RBIs and 11 home runs.
Damn,
which of those stat lines do you like?
Pretty low batting average.
Pedestrian, pretty pedestrian.
I guess there's better pitchers in the National League. First one.
First one is Ronald Acuna Jr., so he's batting the 294. Yeah, 35 ribbies and 17 home runs. The second stat line was his teammate and last year's winner, Freddie Freeman, who's taking a dip with a 230 batting average.
Acuna is, if I'm not mistaken, he bats leadoff, right?
He does.
And he still has a lot of RBIs.
He does bat leadoff. He does have a lot of RBIs, and he has the most leadoff home runs in Braves history.
Wow.
In only like his third year. That's pretty impressive.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And
then number 3 was Tatis with 16 home runs, 293 batting average. I didn't know his batting average so high. 37 RBIs. The other interesting stat about Tatis is he's got 12 stolen bases. So he has potential there to be a 40-40 guy.
I mean, if we look up Acuna's also runs scored, I'm pretty sure that's going to add to his.
He does have 43 runs scored.
Wow. Yeah, he's a front runner.
He's got the most out of all these guys. Yeah, and then the last one there was Nolan Arenado with 35 RBIs, 274 batting average, and 11 home runs. not amazing numbers there, obviously, for Nolan, but I think the difference that he makes on that Cardinals team is what makes him so significant in this race. Truly, a testament of value when it comes to that position, when it comes to the award. I think Nolan definitely has a lot of value. But yeah, I would agree with you, Mandy. I think Acuna probably. I'd still put my money on Tatis just because of that 40-40 number that could possibly happen. We haven't seen that since. I think since Soriano, maybe A-Rod would have been the last one. One of those two guys would have been the last one. It's been a long time since anybody hit 40 home runs and stole 40 bags. So it's definitely going to be. I think it's going to be a two-horse race. Initially, when the season started, I thought Juan Soto would be there. Kind of dipped off. Kind of tough to be a good player for the Nationals though nowadays. But that's the races right now. Those are the front runners. I think in the National League you do got to include Jacob deGrom. Vegas doesn't have any. His odds are pretty high. But if he keeps up the pace, he had another RBI single the other night, and I believe he's batting 450 right now with a sub .8 sub 1 ERA either way.
Nice.
But you definitely got to include that guy in the running. All right, Mandy. So we did talk some MLB. We got those award leaders, talking those guys. Some surprise guys. Definitely Vladdy Jr. a surprise guy. You called Ohtani in the beginning. He is the odds-on favorite right now. Got to keep up the pace. Got to stay healthy. I think that's his biggest issue. Got to stay healthy. On the National League side, Juan Soto nowhere to be seen. I thought he'd do better. Obviously not. But Acuna, big dog Acuna, living up to what he should be doing. So we'll move on to the NBA playoffs, which have been exciting in a lot of different ways. Right, every series has had its ups and its downs. So we're gonna play a little game here. Okay, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna give you a series here, and I'm gonna ask you what have you found encouraging about the series that you liked, that you enjoyed, and what have you found discouraging about the series? Encourage versus discourage. In round one, Boston and Brooklyn. What did you find encouraging? What did you not?
That Brooklyn is an animal. That they're a beast. That they're gonna go ahead and win the East. Really, I think. I also found encouraging that Jason Tatum, when he wants to, not when he wants, but he has the ability to take over any series against any team.
Oh yeah.
That one win they got off of his 50 points was amazing.
Willed them to the end there. Yeah, for me, encouraging was KD's kind of dominance, being healthy, and he just showed that whenever he's the best player in the game when he's healthy, he can get any shot he wants. He's just that guy. The discouraging part for me was all the hurt players for Boston. It didn't make the series as fun. No Kemba Walker, no Jaylen Brown. It would have been I think it would have been a different series. I don't think the Nets would have lost, but I think it would have been a different series with those guys healthy.
And now Brad Stevens, I don't think he's no longer the coach, right?
He's moving on to be the president of basketball operations, and Danny Ainge will be retiring. So there you go. There you have it. Shaking things up over there in Boston, which they probably need to do anyway. Bucks Heat, the only sweep in the first round. For me, encouraging for the Milwaukee Bucks was realizing that when the game gets tough, when they're close games, Giannis isn't a finisher. He's not a guy who can get a jump shot. He's not. They're gonna pack the lane. He can't be the finishing guy for that team. It was Chris Middleton. He was great down the stretch of games, especially that game one against Miami. He hit the game winner. He was awesome hitting his jump shots at the end. For me, that was super encouraging for Milwaukee. And then the discouraging part was showing how much of a fluke Miami was in the bubble last year. Oh my goodness!
Well,
right?
see, I'm going to say, because I literally saw 0 minutes of that series, so I'm going to say the encouraging thing was all the memes of Tyler Hero, right?
Yep.
The bubble, mean mugging, right? And then Tyler Hero out of the bubble, and he's like that Jimmy Neutron kid or whatever he is. So.
He's Sheen, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That was the encouraging part for Mandy. Sixers Wizards. This one just wrapped up. Encouraging for me. I got two things actually. One was, and they won a game without Embiid. That's a big deal, right? He was hurt for a lot of the year, and they played well without him. They still got the number one seed, but they won a game in the playoffs without him. That was encouraging for me. Number two was the Wizards in Game 4 when they were about to be eliminated. They started a kid named Daniel Gafford. big center. He was so dominant, so aggressive. He had like 7 block shots. He played a good role, and I think the Wizards kind of found something there. So that was encouraging for me. The discouraging part is showing that the Wizards, again, time and time again, we see this in the NBA. They show that you cannot win in the NBA big games with 2 ball dominant guards. Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. Any team with 2 big ball dominant guards doesn't usually win. Look at Portland. They're struggling that series with Denver. It's one of those things. That was discouraging for me to see that once again.
Yeah, I mean, that I was just going to talk about the discouraging was the fact that Bradley Beal, you could say this experiment of Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook did not work.
Did not. It got the Wizards their first playoff appearance, which was nice, but you could tell when it comes to playing a team like the Sixers, it just wasn't working. This was a fun series. I thought it would have been more interesting toward the end, but it really wasn't. But it was a very fun series in the East. The Hawks versus the Knicks. What did you find encouraging versus discouraging, Mandy?
I guess encouraging was the fact that Trae Young, man, maybe is the real deal.
He's a beast, yeah.
And that Hawks team, they're a good young nucleus of a team. They're not bad. We thought
Nope.
the Knicks were kind of on the uprise, but now it looks like the Hawks, they're the ones who are going to go ahead and maybe compete with the 76ers in 5, 6, 7 years to come.
Yeah, we shall see. Yeah, for me it was easy. It was encouraging was Trae Young's performance, and versus discouraging was Julius Randle. And I know he's not a type of guy that can really take over a team like that, but he was their guy all year. He had a couple triple doubles. He won Most Improved Player, which you called, by the way, a long time ago. So that was big ups for you on that one. But he just didn't perform well. He really, when it came down to it, shot a very low shooting percentage, wasn't finishing around the basket, and that's what really hurt the Knicks. They became very one-on-one basketball against the Hawks, and that's what lost them that series. So Julius Randle, I'm sure, will bounce back when they add a couple more pieces around him. Now we'll move to the West, where I think the playoffs have been a little bit more interesting. First game, 8 versus 1, Utah and Memphis. What have you seen that's been encouraging for you versus discouraging?
To be honest, I guess encouraging, or maybe the Jazz are for real. I mean, I don't. Memphis is not really a strong playoff team. I would like to see Golden State on that seed, but they didn't make it because of the whole playing games.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jazz.
I like encouraging for me was John Morant. I mean, he was insane. I think he had the most points through 3 playoff games ever in history. Like, that was just incredible. He was big down the stretch in all those games. It just wasn't enough. But for me, discouraging, I think you said the Jazz are a real deal, and they're a good team, right? Like, they do things well. But for me, what was discouraging is how much they rely on the 3-ball. If they don't shoot the 3-ball well, they will lose games. I don't think the Jazz are that good.
Live by the 3.
Die by the 3. If they're not hitting 23s a game, they're not winning. You know what I mean? And that's tough to do. I mean, they did it all year, but I think that's going to be tough to do in the playoffs when things change a little bit, when defenses tighten up. Okay? Now we'll go to probably your favorite series, the 2 versus 7 seed here. Suns, Lakers. What has been encouraging with the Lakers down 3-2, and what has been discouraging
I'm
for
going
you?
to say Devin Booker and these Phoenix Suns, man. DeAndre Ayton, right? Devin Booker. And that lefty sharpshooter who's been killing the Lakers. Oh my!
Mikal Bridges.
Yes, wow. The Suns. I mean, I'm trying to think back. I think I said at the beginning of the season the Suns are going to be this, juggernaut of a team, feeding off their 8-0 record in the bubble, and exactly they just carried out the playoffs.
I believe what you called was they would make the playoffs and they would be a 4 or 5 seed or higher, which you were predicting. They're a 2 seed, so. That's pretty dang good. And that was
very, very good.
Yeah.
But
that's pretty awesome. For me, I think what you said was correct about the encouraging part. To me, it's the response that the Suns had after Game 3 from Jay Crowder and the rest of the Suns role players, because that's the difference in the series, is how much better the Suns role players are playing than the Laker role players, and that's really what it comes down to.
I saw an interesting stat. I heard Van Gundy go off on the telecast, and he kind of opened my eyes to this.
Sure.
Montrezl Harrell.
Where is he?
Reigning sixth man of the year, right, last year. He played Game 1 against the Suns. He scored 14 points. Okay? Game 2, did not play. Game 3,
coach's decision.
Did not play. Game 4.
Garbage time.
Game 5, no, did not play at all.
Oh, you're talking. Yeah, game 6 was the garbage time, or game
Game,
5 was garbage time. Yeah.
like, what's going on? Like, I don't know what's going on with the Lakers. That, for me, that's discouraging. And maybe the fact that people are kind of writing off LeBron right now that, oh, he's getting too old. He could no longer carry a team. I mean, eh, he's hurt. He's hurt.
Yeah.
No, he just came off the bubble playing, about 2, 3 months ago. His body needs to recuperate.
Yeah.
His body, I think the best, no, I'm not going to say the best thing is for them to lose first round because, no, we want them to win. But, he did not get the proper offseason to recuperate. So it's showing his age.
Yeah, I can see that. So for me, the discouraging part was LeBron's historic series lows. He has a historic series low for points, everything really, and it shows. I mean, the Lakers aren't moving without him, and obviously not having Anthony Davis in that lineup is huge for the Lakers. He's their best player. He's their best player. And you can see the difference between the Lakers winning a game against Phoenix and dominating a game, which was game 3, versus getting beat by 30 points in game 5. So that's just the difference there. And give it up to DeAndre Ayton. He's playing out of
Oh
his
my
mind
gosh.
right now. He's
Yeah.
playing amazing. And you could just see. So you have two of the older guys, not older. I mean, Anthony Davis isn't older, but you have LeBron and AD on one side versus the young group, the young pair of Ayton and Booker. And you could just see that the NBA is in good hands. They have good
Yeah.
young stars for the future. So all that stuff. All that being said. Getting tough for the Lakers, getting dicey for the Lakers there.
If it's getting tough for the Lakers, then it's definitely getting tough for the Clippers too, right?
We'll get to the Clippers right now. We'll get to the Clippers, but let's go Nuggets Portland first. Encouraging for me has been that the Nuggets have eliminated the Blazer role players. They've really just made it about Damian Lillard and Dame time, and the 2 games that they lost, it was because of Dame time. And if they're not, when they win the games, it's because all the other role players don't show up, and they can weather the 50-point games from Damian Lillard, which he's been amazing. He's been great. But the Blazers have to find a way to not be just Damian Lillard, and that's their problem right now. Is the Nuggets have they go deep in their bench. All those guys play, all those guys score, and the Blazers don't have that. The discouraging part for me is that we don't. I think the Nuggets would have swept Portland by now if Jamal Murray was playing. And him being out with the ACL tear it makes you want the Nuggets are probably going to win this series. I think they will, but it makes it like, man, they won't be able to go on a deep playoff run because they have no Jamal Murray, and that's what saddens me. That's what discourages me about this series.
And I'll go with what you said because, like that other series in the East, the Bucks series, I have 0 minutes of the Nuggets. Hey, you got it.
Those have probably been some of the best games, but yeah, I mean, definitely I would tune in to that series one, especially if it gets to game 7, I would watch that one. But yeah, let's go with Clippers Mavs, right? Clippers Mavs. Okay,
Let's go right now.
I'll tell you right now, I'm actually have it live on my second screen, but it's on a replay, so give me a second. But number 1, for me, encouraging, and this is as a Clipper fan, right? Encouraging, Luka is just playing the position differently. He's using size and strength to get every single shot that he wants. He's making every Clipper defender look smaller than he is and weaker than he is, and that's what's happening. That's what's so encouraging about it. Right now, yeah, too small. Everybody, Pat Bev, Paul George, Kawhi, everybody, right? But the score right now, 64-67 Clippers. Doncic at the free throw line to shoot 1. But then the encouraging part for me was after the Clippers went down 2 games, what a response in Dallas, winning 2 games in a row, and the second game holding Dallas under 90 points, getting back to their roots of defense. So that was, I think, a big deal for the Clippers. What about yourself, Mandy?
Definitely encouraging had to be Luka Doncic. He's a beast. Oh my gosh! I think this series, people are realizing how big he is and how much experience, how tall he is, how long and just strong and fast.
Strong.
It's stud. Wow, he's a stud. The discouraging part, I'm going to stick with the Mavericks. The fact that they could have put that series away, 2-0, going home, and now they open the door. They open the door for the Clippers. And if the Clippers are up right now, so I mean, it's very interesting series.
Yeah, and where's Kristaps Porzingis? Where's Kristaps?
Yeah.
Hasn't been anywhere. Hasn't made his presence known in this series. It's he's got to be one of those guys who steps up. It's really been Luka and Hardaway Jr., which, a guy like that can't keep up that pace. You wouldn't assume, right? But yeah, Mandy, that was the NBA playoffs. We covered that part here. I want to remind everybody the Stanley Cup is going on right now too. And out of the teams left in the second round, Next Man Up's got the winner. I'm telling you, we got the Avalanche, who are up 1-0 and beat the Knights 7-1 in the first round, the first game. And then we got the Bruins, who are tied with the Islanders right now 1-1, and we got the Golden Knights, and we got the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are up 2-0 in their series. So we got one of the winners. Somebody's going to get paid. Make sure you stay tuned on the results for that. Get you some more entries. But of course, we covered our topics, Mandy. We covered the betting aspect of the show. Next, of course, is Rapid Fire Sports Trivia with Mandy and Chooch. And Mandy, we're talking about NBA playoffs. We're talking about stuff like that, right? So I got a question based off of that, okay? I saw this really cool thing. It was like playoff statistics, right? But I have here for you the guys who have played in the most playoff games in their career. Not wins, but playoff games total, okay? I got the top 7 guys. I'm going to see if you can give me 5 of these 7.
Okay. We're going to go, I don't know why he's in my head, but we'll go Robert Horry.
Okay.
LeBron James. Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal.
I want to say Larry Bird, but he was kind of hurt. Let's go with who has all those rings? Is it Wilt Chamberlain or Oscar Robertson? Let's go with
one of them.
Chamberlain.
Okay, that was 5. So, out of the 5, how many do you think you got right?
3 or 4. I'll say 4.
Okay, you got 3. So you were the first 3 right on the money. So you had first one, I believe, Robert Horry. He's number 4 all time with 244 playoff games total. You said LeBron James, who has the most playoff games total at 265. And then you said Kobe Bryant, who's number 7 at 220. And then Shaquille O'Neal not on the list of the top 7, and neither was, you said, Oscar Robertson not on the list.
I said Wilt Chamberlain.
Or Wilt Chamberlain also not on the list. So, number 2 all time, Derek Fisher, 259 playoff games. Number 3, Tim Duncan at 251. Number 4, Robert Horry. Number 5, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at 237. Number 6 was a surprise to me, Tony Parker, 226, but only makes sense with Tim Duncan, right? And then, Kobe Bryant at 220 games, number 7 all-time playoff games.
Nice. All right, my turn.
Let's see what you got.
Good guy. Major League Baseball. We're going
MLB.
June 15th, right? Dodger Stadium. I don't know how it is in Colorado, but on June 15th, Dodger Stadium, we're going to go ahead and be at full capacity.
It's been at full capacity in Colorado, actually, for a little while now.
Well, I mean, full capacity in Colorado is kind of how we're doing it right now in L.A.
Relax. Just because, the Dodger Stadium does hold like 50K, but the Rocky Stadium holds quite a bit. It's a dope stadium. You should come. Right. You should go.
Just 5. I'll give you 5 opportunities. All right. Give me the 5 oldest ballparks currently in use in the major leagues.
Okay. So Dodger Stadium.
Okay.
Fenway.
Okay.
Wrigley.
Okay.
What else is old? I know Tiger Stadium's new, so it's not that one. Yankee Stadium's new, it's not that one. What are some of the older franchises? I know the Reds are the oldest franchise. I don't know if their stadium's that old because it looks really nice, but I'll say Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. And then for 5, man, I know freaking Tigers used to be one of them. Let's go with... It's got to be one of these small towns, right? No. Let's go with... Damn, I can't think. Hold on. Give me a second here.
Wow.
We'll go with... I don't... man, no, Giant Stadium looks new. It looks really new. I'll go with Giant Stadium. I'm going to go with Giant Stadium.
Great. How many do you think you got?
I think I got 3.
You got 3, yes. You got 3,
yeah,
obviously.
I got 3.
I kind of already knew this in order. The oldest is Fenway.
Wrigley? Fenway, okay.
And then Wrigley.
And then Dodger Stadium.
Boom. Hello, Anaheim Stadium.
That's one of the oldest?
Yes.
Oh, that's why
Yes.
it's so ugly there.
Yeah. Angel Stadium.
I never would have guessed Angel Stadium, honestly. Like, not even a million years, I wouldn't have guessed Angel Stadium. So,
Yeah. And number 5 is the A's, Oakland A's. The Oakland.
oh, the Coliseum, yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Come
that
on.
stadium's
The Raiders
bad.
played it for how many years?
Yeah, it's true.
The reason why they
Long
left.
time, long time. Yeah,
And then,
that's why we left. The stadium was so terrible. So,
yeah, but I honestly, I can see why you were having trouble with this because if you take out those first 4, actually those first 5, right? Almost every single other team has a new stadium from
a
the
pretty new stadium. Yeah, pretty new stadium.
like. In next number 6 is Kansas City. The number 7
Okay.
was the Devil Rays, and they're an expansion team.
Yeah, yeah.
And everyone else has all these new stadiums. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know the Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium would have been up there, but they obviously
Yeah.
tore it down, built a
Yeah.
new one, all that stuff. So yeah, that's crazy. Those are interesting. That was a good rapid fire, Mandy. For the first time, that was a really good one. I like that one because I learned something. That's what I like about rapid fire. You get to learn stuff, right? But I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you now for our takeaway, right? Not really. What I wanted to bring to light. I don't know if everybody saw this. Some people, I'm sure, did. But you were talking about relocation with the A's, with the Raiders, and stuff like that. Two teams are having talks about relocation, and one of them is the Athletics. They're asking for a new stadium in the city of Oakland and their management group, and if they can't get it,
Oh, yeah, I saw
the
that.
A's are looking to relocate. Not sure where. Hopefully a baseball town, maybe somewhere else in Oakland or San Jose, something like that. I'm sure one of those California markets would love the A's, but that would be interesting. One of the older franchises there that everybody knows and loves, the A's, might be moving. It's like when the Raiders moved, it was a big deal. And then it was big for the city of Oakland, right? And then number 2, Alex Rodriguez, part of the new ownership group of the Timberwolves, wants to move the team to Seattle, which we could potentially have basketball back in Seattle, like we did when the Seattle Supersonics were there. So something really interesting to keep an eye on in the coming months. Obviously, A-Rod and his ownership group is very new to basketball and to the Timberwolves, but the city not cooperating with a lot of different things, and that market not really being a basketball-friendly market, taking them back to Seattle with the where they have history there could be something interesting. I'd like to see it.
Nice. I mean, that's pretty interesting that Alex Rodriguez can't keep his beeping in his cans, but wants to go. Okay, hey,
Just had to. Huh?
so, what's going on in my life right now? Just what's not happening right now. But I guess I could focus on one thing. Today, Wednesday, June 2nd, right when the show comes out, but today's Wednesday, marks my first year coaching at my new high school, Sotomayor High School.
How'd your season go, Mandy?
We went 0-6 in the shortened coach. 0-6. Everyone made playoffs. Number 12 seed. We played against a 5th seed today. We're up in the first quarter, and we lost by 19. You know what, though? I bring this up because I actually even though we went 0-7, I actually like these kids. It was actually fun. Obviously, we're the basement seller of the Northern League, the league we're in. A lot of bigger schools are in there. But we didn't really get blown out in all the games. We kept it close, respectable, and we're going to build for the future, right? The next man up. We had our 2 seniors graduate. They're gone. Now we're going to go ahead and get the next man up and just try to trust the process, baby, like Joel Embiid.
Trust the process, and if you're not
Trust
down with that,
the
we got 2
process.
words for you, right? No, that's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, building something on your own is there's a lot of good things to be said about that, right? So
sure.
keep in touch with what are you guys, the Wolves, right? Sotomayor
right.
Wolves, be on the come up here pretty soon, I'm sure. Mandy hasn't really coached a lot of losing programs, so let's just keep that in mind if you're doubting him at the moment. So
Oh, you better not be.
don't be doubting him. So that was our show this week. Make sure you keep it locked on the YouTube channel, on the Instagram. We obviously will be doing more of those invitationals, so you have to be following us to find out about them, right? You have to be following us to keep up with our giveaways, to keep up with our new shows, with the new stuff that we got coming. And be sure to turn those post notes on, stuff like that, and we'll have more for you next week on the Next Man Up Sportscast.
Do this.